Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Black Jersey, and it's your boy Max hosting the channel once again. Before I start this video, I do want to give a quick shout out to a very special person. This man, Edward Lipinski, is my first patron over on Patreon, so thank you so much wherever in the world you are, Edward. From the bottom of my heart, I'm very, very thankful. Now, this video here is going to be a bit of a comparison between Ardie Savea, who is standing in as captain for the All Blacks right now, for Sam Cane, who is yet to come back from injury. Right now, he's just with Bay of Plenty, kind of helping them out, sort of in a player-coach assistant role, while he's still rehabbing that pectoral muscle tear that he had back on April Fool's Day. So, Ardie Savea, as you should know by now, was nominated for World Rugby Player of the Year in 2019, and so he's very highly regarded on the rugby scene, and since he's recovered from that last concussion he has, I do believe he is still the best player in the world. He's just a phenomenal player, and as I explained in the first proper video on this channel, my player analysis for Ardie Savea, he's just fantastic. And so it leaves a bit of a conundrum for Ian Foster as to who his captain's going to be once Sam Cane is indeed injury free. So before we go over my opinion, I'm going to give you some kind of surface level statistics on these two world-class players so we can get an idea of how they fit into the All Blacks. So firstly, Sam Cane debuted for the All Blacks in 2012 when he was a 20-year-old. He's since played 74 tests, 20 of which have been as a sub and 9 as the captain. Savea debuted in 2016 as a 22-year-old, and he's since played 55 tests, 25 as a substitute and 3 as the captain. So as of the time I'm recording this video, Sam Cane has 19 more tests than Savea, and yet fewer tests as a replacement, and of course more as the captain, because in 2020 he did indeed start at every game at openside flanker, and he was captain for all 6 tests we played last year. But even though this is the case, Savea averages 9.2 tests per year, and Cane averages 8.2 tests per year. So on average, Savea does play a test more per year than Cane. Both of them have had their fair share of injuries. Sam Cane's injuries throughout his career have definitely been a bit more damaging to him though. Savea's mostly just dealing with your old knee injury, the odd concussion here and there, whereas Sam Cane has recovered from the likes of a broken neck, his current pec muscle tear, he's had a few concussions himself. Both of these players as well are try-scoring machines. Sam Cane, despite not being much of a ball-running open-side flanker, has got 15 tries, whereas Savea has scored 13. Both of them do have potential to be the All Black captain for a significant time going forward as well. So Sam's currently 29 years old, he'll be 35 years old in 2027, Savea's 27 years old right now, and he'll turn 34 during the 2027 Rugby World Cup. So if they go through all the way to this World Cup uninterrupted through injury, it could end up being Sam Cane's 4th World Cup and Savea's 3rd. So both of them have been in the team since a very young age, and they're obviously incredibly experienced for guys who are yet to turn 30. Also, I want to go over the amount of minutes they've played too. So Ian Foster has coached the All Blacks at the time of recording this video for 15 tests. So if you do the maths, 15 by 80, that equates to 1,200 minutes. And so Sam Cane has played the most minutes at open side flanker under Ian Foster as the All Black head coach. So Cane's played a total of 464 minutes throughout this time. So this is 38.66% of the 1,200 minutes available, and Savea has played the most minutes at number 8 under Ian Foster as a head coach, even though 7 is his preferred position. Savea has also played minutes at both 6 and 7 with Fozzie as the coach. Savea's played a grand total of 818 minutes, so basically, if the guy's fit at all, he's playing in the game, and so that's 68.16% of the 1,200 minutes Fozzie has coached the All Blacks. So Savea, since Fozzie's become the coach, has played nearly twice as many minutes as Sam Cane, just because Cane has been injured. Savea's played the second most minutes as well of any single player under this new head coach, behind Rieko Ioane, who's played 864. This is a wee bit of a insight on my depth chart video, which will be my final video of this year. So both of these players are very experienced, and they've both got some very good career statistics behind them. I now want to point out kind of how their leadership integrates into the team, the way they've captained previous teams, and how they fit the game plan as well. So right, let's hop into the second part of this video. So Savea's first role as a captain was for his first 15 at Rongotai College, where he was head boy. Sam Cane did not really have much of a leadership role at high school though, because for his final year of school, he moved from Reparoa College, which is a wee farming town, to go to Tauranga because he wanted to take his rugby a bit further. Apparently Sam Cane was in the first 15 as a year 10 as well, so pretty good stuff right there. It's not exactly easy to crack the firsts, especially not as a young kid. So yes, both of these players were tipped for greatness from a very early age as well. Ardie probably had a hand from his brother Julian Savea, the greatest player of all time as well. That definitely would have helped him with the scouting and stuff, considering his brother was a Hurricane while Ardie was still at high school. Ardie was also Wellington's captain as a 21-year-old for the ITM Cup at the time final in 2015. Brad Shields had been injured, so it was a very young man coming in as the captain. And 2020, when he became the captain for the Hurricanes, that was his first leadership role since then. Even though the Hurricanes came last in 2021 for Super Rugby Aotearoa, Savea still played very phenomenally, and he was just on fire as per usual, because I do believe again he is the best player in the world. Sam Cane as captain for the Chiefs in 2020, they did not win a single game of Super Rugby Aotearoa with Warren Gatland as the head coach. And in 2020, even though 2021 rather, even though Sam Cane was available for quite a few games before getting injured, the Chiefs had a massive resurgence with Clayton McMillan as the head coach. Now this is a pattern of notice as well. Both the Chiefs and the All Blacks underperformed in 2020. I'm not making a conspiracy theory or anything, but it's kind of a bit odd that those both coincidences are happening to teams who are succeeding more in 2021 that Sam Cane is supposed to be captaining. It's a bit of an odd coincidence. This is not to derail Sam Cane, of course, though. Ardie Savea, as the Hurricanes captain, again, I will reiterate, did get his team last on the table. So every leader does have their shortcomings and their setbacks. It's pretty much the 101 of the game, guys. Now that I've covered the leadership experience of the two loose forwards, I want to explain how I believe they fit into the game plan, and I'm going to go over with my opinion a bit more. So first off, I'll say that Sam Cane I'm not the biggest fan of, in my opinion. I think he is a bit ill-disciplined, even though he is a good leader in terms of a team culture. His teammate from the Chiefs, Ollie Norris, who is of course a future All Black too, explained that Sam Cane was still coming to every training while injured this year and supporting his teammates, so he's obviously a very good man off the field. Ardie Savea, however, does get a bit more involved with his community. Like, even though Sam Cane's coming back to his old teams, Savea, as you can see from these photos from his clothing store's website, etc., etc., really cares about his community. He's doing like all these cool events like runs, just like having a yarn with regular people, which is super freaking cool. He's got his own podcast. And he's also, of course, got that clothing label, which is the website I'm citing up above me over here. So yeah, Savea is kind of born to be a leader, if you get what I mean, as you can see by what's going on over here. Both of these players, of course, have their previous experience. Sam Cane did become the Chiefs captain in 2016. Savea, though, is definitely better disciplined than Cane. I can't talk about how he's never received a card in his career before because now he has had a couple cards. Sam Cane's had a couple cards over his career as well. As you can see, here's the total amount of yellows and reds for the All Blacks. 0 reds, of course. Savea, I think, doesn't give away as many penalties because, as I explained in my player analysis video for Savea, he just knows when and when not to compete with the ball as well. He plays a far more entertaining brand of rugby as well. Obviously, he's excellent at the core roles of his position as a loose forward. As you can see, his jackling technique is just beautiful, but he runs the ball so brilliantly as well. Sam Cane tends to score a lot of his tries from close to the try line, whereas Ardie Savea can genuinely sprint like he's a back, probably because he played as an outside centre at high school. Savea's become a household name in the rugby world because of the way he plays. He's just so entertaining to watch. And look at the leg drive that you're seeing over here on the screen too. It's phenomenal how strong the guy is, despite the fact that he is only 100 kgs. Sam Cane, I believe, is 103, so there's not a huge size difference between them. So because of their size, 7 is the best position to put them in. Now, in number 6, Akira Ioane is probably the guy going forward in that jersey, and Luke Jacobson, Ethan Blackadder, Dalton Papali'i, Marino Mikaele-Tu'u, Hugh Renson, and a bunch of other players are all world-class number 8s, even the guys who are uncapped that I mentioned. Going forward in the number 8 jersey, I do think we are going to have to field a specialist, and if we're going to go for a specialist number 8 going forward, I'm going to go with Luke Jacobson over Ethan Blackadder, just because Jacobson's a bit younger, has a bit more potential, and he's got a bit more mongrel, of course. So because of Ioane and Jacobson, you've got to pick either Savea or Cane for the 7 jersey. And if I'm selecting a team, I want to be picking a 7 that's really going to complement these other guys. So you could go with Sam Cane for the fact that he's all good in his core roles, but the fact that sometimes you just need that extra spark of brilliance that can win a game, I do wish to go with Ardie Savea, and I'd probably have someone like Hoskins Sotutu, who is absolutely brilliant off the bench, just because, as I've reiterated, Savea is the best player in the world, and his preferred position is 7. So when you've got the best player in the world playing in the same position as a captain who's the different guy, you've just got to make the change, and you've got to pick the better player who's going to suit your game plan more. You can't have 2 open sides. I'm getting very frustrated because if you've got 2 open sides, you've got 2 choices. You either need a very tall number 8, Jacobson and Ioane are not ridiculously tall, or you need to start a 3rd lock at 6, and Scott Barrett is definitely better at lock than he is at 6. So going forward, I am sorry to my fellow Chiefs fans, but I do think Sam Cane's career, because of injuries and Savea's magnificent presence, is coming to an end. Fozzie will reinstate him as captain for the end of year tests this year, but in the long term, I do genuinely believe, even though I thought it would initially be Anton Leonard-Brown, Ardie Savea will be the long-term All Blacks captain. Sam Cane's got a terrible, terrible history with injury, and it sucks when injuries take away a player's potential like that. But at the end of the day, sports is about winning, and you need the best player in the world in his favoured position to win games. Thank you so much for watching that video, guys. Thanks so much for supporting me on YouTube and Instagram. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, click the notification bell so you never miss another video. Go follow me on Instagram, join Patreon, subscribe, join our Discord server, follow on Instagram, and I will talk to you again later. Thank you very much for watching. It's your boy Max signing out.